Let's talk about Nikola Jokic. We gotta cover this story that came in the last few days. So one of Jokic's horses from the Dreamcatcher stables won a race. There's like a little cart that the jockey is on behind the horse. And Will, if you could pull up the video, because the big story over the last couple of days about Nikola Jokic was how emotional, how openly emotional Jokic got in response to this his horse winning this race. He goes over, he's really happy, he goes to hug the jockey, and he's just crying, his face is red, pets the horse, is very cute, goes and hugs one of the managers, I guess, of the horse there as well. I thought this was a very cute, emotional moment. My first thought when I saw this video, actually, wow, he is so emotional. I thought it was cute. I was just like, I love that he cares about this so much. But first thing I thought of was, wow, what a quick turnaround from the China trip that he took for 361, where he was there. I think it was only supposed to be a 4-day trip anyway, but there was a lot of social media content coming out of that. So I was like, okay, Jokic is back in Europe, was my first thought when I saw this. And my second thought when I saw it was, I love that he cares about this thing so much. I just love getting cute social media content about our players throughout the off season, right?
Good for you to have that reaction and just enjoy it genuinely, because I immediately went into defense mode where I was like, I know how this is going to be used.
Well, that was my third thought was also that. So, Will, why don't you get into your defense reaction and why you had that reaction?
It's just the classic narrative that Jokic doesn't care about basketball and he loves other things more, and that it's just a job for him, which is fine. Even if he thinks it's a job, I don't have a problem with that. And we all love Jokic, and I think his success proves that he has a good mental perspective on the game and his relationship to it. And we've had Vlatko confirm on DNVR that Jokic, puts in so much work that people don't even necessarily realize, though you could probably guess if you think about what a player would have to do to get to the level that Jokic is at. But I just know that people are going to be pushing those clips of him and how joyous he looked, and then juxtapose it to how he reacted to the championship. And they had that little, I think NBA, what's the account, NBA Central or whatever, put the clip of him with the champagne bottle for 1 second and how he was barely shaking it, and then showed how he was going crazy with the champagne on the horse track. And I just hate when people get ammunition.
Can I interject there real quick?
Yeah.
So you can interpret that one. There's a couple of different ways that you can interpret on the champagne bottle thing. It's one, oh, did he learn how to pop a champagne bottle after the championship? I'm going to say no.
He's an expert.
I'm going to go with he was clearly performing, not knowing how to pop a champagne bottle after the championship, because he looked very comfortable popping this champagne bottle after this horse race.
Yeah. And I agree with Hurricane that it's funny that he's very into horse racing and more nonchalant about basketball. I think just anyone who wants a more nuanced take about how he views there's something there where you can understand how, when you have all this pressure on you to be the franchise guy and an MVP and win a championship, it takes so much work and it's exhausting, right? And his horse racing, I would argue, is more like his passion, hobby, personal project. He's doing everything he can to make sure that his team's successful, I bet. And so when they actually win it all, he's probably so happy for them. Jokic is always happy for others. And when it's his own personal accolades, he's more reserved and humble about it. And so it makes perfect sense to me, but I get other people will run with it in ways that I don't necessarily like. But I get that it's Twitter and people push agendas and they, clown on players they don't necessarily like. That's just how it is. But I was just ready to be in defense mode, and Twitter defense mode. And so, I got into it with some people.
I feel like you were often on Twitter defense mode.
Yeah, maybe that's just my natural state.
Yeah, no, to that, I do think, on one hand, just to that point that I made about the champagne bottle, there's one argument that you can make that, it's difficult to sort of full-throatedly rebuke rebuke the arguments that Jokic doesn't care when part of his own, I think, intentionally media crafted image is to not care. And there's a couple of different benefits to that. One, people stop asking you shit, right? And we know even if Jokic cares about the thing, he doesn't like the circus of it all. I think that's pretty obvious, right? The other benefit is, and this is like part of the meme of like, well, why would there even be some Nuggets fans that run with this? And what benefit is there to that? If you are someone that is just like casually good at a thing that like carries its own sort of cachet. And I don't think that's necessarily his intent, but I think based on him not necessarily caring about the pomp and circumstance of it all, he probably doesn't mind that narrative being out there, like that aspect of the narrative.
Yeah.
I'm just casually brilliant, sure, whatever, right?
I'm sure he doesn't know.
Right. My interpretation, or one of my favorite interpretations that I sort of built off of here. I think this was from Antonio on Nuggets Twitter. He said that Jokic would probably cry like this after victories if he were allowed to drink during basketball games too. And he's out. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, he totally was drinking during this horse race.
He had to.
Those are the tears that you get. Like I said, he hadn't had that kind of emotional response to a victory where it's like face spread, all this stuff, since Team Serbia won bronze at the Olympics last year after a day of drinking going into the medal ceremony, right? And it just reminded me of that, like him going up to the horse and going up to the jockey and just like wanting to hug everybody and all that reminds me of having a night out with your friends and you're like 6 or 7 drinks in. It's been a very long time since I've done this, guys, just FYI. And you're just like, I just love you guys so much. And now everybody knows what kind of drunk I am.
I am glad we get Jokic celebrating and enjoying the off season, whether it's with Team Serbia after almost beating the US and winning the bronze or his horse winning races. It's amazing to see. Like I want him to be enjoying the off season. He obviously lives the off season up to the fullest and tries to really
good for him. Dude's done a lot, actually.
And I think it helps him,
He's done his river rafting trip. He did spent time with his family. There were other videos of him at watching his horses race earlier this summer. Then he does the China trip, comes back, gets to enjoy this celebration of this win here, and then obviously is going to be doing Eurobasket, which we're about to talk about as well. So that's like a very eventful, summer, few months.
And I'm just really excited to see Jokic play basketball again.
Oh, before we move off of this topic, I did want to bring up the Players Tribune article that Jokic, wrote, or I don't know how they do these articles sometimes, because this is back from in 2016. I don't know how good his own English was in terms of being comfortable enough to write it. Maybe he dictated this to somebody. But this article was all about, his basketball journey from Europe and coming over to the NBA and how that was going. So if you could bring that one up, I just wanted to read this short excerpt from him about basketball. One thing that hasn't changed for me is the passion. You've seen a few times when other players foul me or grab my leg. I love that kind of play on the basketball court. This is just how we play in Serbia. Last year, I scored and one, and I just started yelling, excited. And the guy just pushed me, and I fall down and make a flip. My teammates start a fight for me. That's what I want to continue doing. Not to make fight, but just to get passion into the game. I don't want basketball to just be a job. I just want to keep that passion. I loved seeing this, and I had not read this article before, but somebody brought it up sort of in defense mode.
he wrote it's better than racing
Oh,
horses.
sorry. Oh, yeah. Sorry. My
Am I
screen
seeing that correct?
yeah, it's better than racing horses, he said. Which was, that was bringing it back full circle because the beginning of the article was about how it all started with racing horses. That was something that he did to sort of cope early on with how much he hated all of the workouts associated with playing basketball. You read the Why So Serious book by Mike Singer, who did the Jokic biography that came out last year. I would love it if somebody were to show that to Jokic and ask him like if he feels differently, if he's been able to maintain that passion like that. I'd love to hear his updated thoughts on this because this is now 9 years ago that since he wrote those words, like basically right within a year of coming over to the NBA. So I thought that was pretty cool to read at least how he used to think about things. Don't know that that's how he thinks about them right now, but gives you a window into at least what his intentions were coming into the league, and how much he wanted to care about the work that he does. To sign off, I will say, if you like our content, please remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And always remember that winning is fun and losing sucks.